Hey folks, it's Mark here from Harmonix Tuition, and today I have a beginner lesson for you, and it is the Manic Street Preachers, A Design for Life. Let's check it out. Okay, so in this video, we are going to be covering the chords, the changes, the notes, etc. We're going to be covering the actual picking of the chords themselves, what I do with my right hand. Bear in mind, these are arpeggios, so they're chords with the notes are played separately. So we're going to be going into that. And then I'll be giving you some tips and recommendations on how to really practice this and get it sounding great. And it will help other things you play too. So make sure you stick to the end to check that out. Okay guys, so let's start with the chords. Okay, so first chord is going to be a C major 7 style chord here. Okay, for my first finger is going to be on fret 3 on the A, and then my third and pinky are below it on the 5 and the 5 on the D and the G respectively. And I'm only going to be picking the A, the D, the G, and then an open B string. Okay, and that gives us the dissonance. Gives us that lovely sound. Okay, so that's the C major 7. The next chord is going to be a D minor 13. Now there are other names for this, and don't get too worried about the names of the chords, okay? But all we're basically doing, all you need to know, okay, is that we're moving 2 fingers. That's it. Okay, so first of all, we're going to move our first finger down to fret 3 on the D, and our third is going up to the A. So that's the only thing that changes. Okay, I'm going to go through how I pick all this in the next section, but right now I just want you to know the chords, where they are finger-wise and where they are on the neck. Okay, so C major 7, and then all we do is we swap our third and first fingers around, like that. Okay, the next chord is a G7. And what we're going to do is we're going to do like a bar chord by flattening our first finger across everything on fret 3, okay? But it's going to be predominantly pressing into the top here on the low E. Then our third finger is going to go on fret 5 on the A. We're not going to put anything on the D string. Our first finger is going to be making that note for us on the third here by covering everything. So you're going to have to make sure that your thumb and your first finger are kind of like a vice grip here, and they're really pressing down. I'm going to go into the tips and recommendations at the end of the video, so stay with me for that, okay? But we're going to be going 3. If you imagine here, these are the notes that are going to be being played. 3 on the E, okay? 5 on the A, 3 on the D, which is being held down by our first finger blocking everything on fret 3, okay? And then our second finger is going on fret 4 on the G. Okay, and we're going to be playing just those 4 strings. Like that, okay? The next chord is a little bit more fiddly to get into shape for quickly, okay? Which is, well, we'll talk about that at the end, but this one is going to be an E flat major 7, okay? So our second finger is actually at the top here. We're going to be playing the A string on fret 6 with our second finger. Our first finger is going to be on fret 5 on the D, okay? Then our third is coming onto the 7 on the G, and our pinky is going to be on the B on fret 8, okay? So you're using all 4 fingers, and they're covering 4 different frets. So in this order, it will be strings A, D, G, B, and the frets are going to be, in that order, they're going to be from the A string, 6, 5, 7, 8 as you go from the A down. Okay, and then the last chord, again, is going to be a little bit of a challenge to move to it quickly, but we'll talk about that later. This is going to be a D minor 7 flat 5. Okay, again, the names of these chords don't matter too much, it's just the positions. So we're going to be flattening basically the bottom 5 strings, if you like, with our first finger on fret 5 from the A string down. So we're not playing the E at all, the top E, the low E, if you like, okay? So our first finger is covering everything. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put our second finger on fret 6 on the D and our third finger on fret 6 on the B. Okay, so it's kind of strange, kind of little shape where your fingers are all kind of squashed into this small area here. But what you're going to be playing is the A, the D, the G, and the B. And you're going to be playing frets 5, 6, 5, 6, respectively. Like that. Okay, so let me just go through them again quick. C major 7. Okay. D minor 13. Okay, G7. B flat major 7. And D minor 7 flat 5. And then we're back. Okay, now we're going to move through to the picking section so you can see exactly how I pick these with the right hand. Okay, so for picking, what I'm actually doing is I'm playing, there is 6 notes I'm playing in total, so I'm arpeggiating these chords by playing the notes separately, okay? And the way I do it is I actually pick down, 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 up, up, down. Now you can pick however you want, but this is just how I do it naturally. And I'm actually putting slight accents on the first of every 3 notes. So, like this. What that does is when the metronome isn't there or a beat isn't there, the listener can actually hear the pulse and they can pick up the rhythm based on how you're picking it. You can sort of hear the pulse if you listen. Okay, it's a really good habit to get into, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. So that's all I'm doing, and I'm just going down, 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 up, up, down. Like that. That's how I do it. And all you're doing is you're doing that with your right hand within each of the chordal positions. Okay, so it's obviously going to take you maybe a little bit of work to get not only used to the chord positions and moving into them, but also arpeggiating them through or playing the notes separately. In terms of how much we pick through these chords before we change, okay, the first 3 chords we pick through 4 times, okay? The 4th chord and the 5th chord we pick through twice, okay? So C major 7, D minor 13, and G7, we do 4 cycles of the arpeggio. So one cycle would be, okay, because that note would be starting again, the 6 notes, okay, so that's once. So we do the first chord 4 times, second chord 4 times, third chord 4 times, and then here twice, and then twice. You'll notice in the introduction I did it a little bit quicker, as I mentioned earlier, so that was just for, for time, but this is how you should do it when you're playing along with the song. This is the way it was done. Okay? Okay, in terms of giving you some advice in how to change chords a little bit quicker, and bear in mind this will spill over into anything you play where you're having to change chords. So this is a good thing to know, okay? What I would advise you to do is look at the lower notes first, because you tend to play them first, especially in something like this where you are arpeggiating the notes. So we're starting with the A string. So we're starting with the lowest note. So what you really want to kind of focus on is focus on changing the lower notes first, because then you'll have a fraction of a second or half a second to fix the higher pitch notes after the fact. So for example, if we go from G7 to E flat major 7, okay, I would focus on getting your second finger and your first finger on there. So focus on the jump to the first notes that you're going to play before you worry about all your fingers. And if you take it slow enough, you'll eventually get used to that movement. You'll preempt it. Your fingers will get there early and they'll all be in the right position for keeping up with the metronome. This is another reason why you should always start with the metronome nice and slow and turn it up over time once it sounds great. In terms of the tone, I'm using a little bit of crunch here, a little bit of reverb. I'm using the bridge pickup for that kind of rock and roll twang sound. And you really want to be careful how you're holding the chords here so that the notes can really flow and overlap. It's quite an emotive, kind of haunting piece of music, and you really want that to come through, okay? So try not to use too much distortion, or you may not hear the individual notes of the arpeggio. Just something to consider. I also want you to think about the bigger picture with this. Whether or not you like this band, the song itself, or even this piece of music, bear in mind that learning it is going to help you with the guitar in general. The ability to arpeggiate chords with your right hand, to be able to change chords cleanly and seamlessly, is a really good skill, and it will spill out into the other things that you play, so it's definitely worth getting this down. Okay guys, I'm going to leave this song for you to try next, and I'm also going to leave the beginner playlist for you here so you guys can have a look through that, see if there's something that you'd like to practice. I'm sure there's something in there for you, so make sure you check it out. Thank you very much for watching today, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.